Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. It's time for your preview to Chelsea versus Arsenal at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. Let's do this.
Henri, chance, Balotelli, Aguero! Premier League champions 2016. Leicester City!
Hope to see you soon. Well done. Bye-bye.
Giroud again, Joe Wilson! Here's Gerrard. That's a great strike! McCracken getting closer. Centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. It's time for your match preview to Arsenal's game tomorrow against Chelsea. I'm joined by Chelsea, good friend of Sait and a good Chelsea fan as well. Hanif, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I did say it right, by the way. I didn't like.
You did, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, cool. I didn't want to butcher it. Yeah, big up everyone that's watching already. If you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that shirt as well, and also become a member from as little as $1.99 a month, and you will join the others that are kindly donating monthly to the channel. So, Craig would already just that 39 years ago today, Tony Adams made his Arsenal debut. Wow. Have you brought that up because he's doing Strictly? But yeah, anyway. So I want to start off with Chelsea, first off, before we move to Arsenal. Obviously we had Tuchel at the start of the season. He dramatically was sacked. I was very shocked that he got sacked, to be fair. And then Potter's come in. What have you made of like Chelsea's season so far, and also the decision to get rid of Tuchel and bring in Potter?
Tuchel didn't deserve to get sacked, but if you're going to play poor football at home against the bottom half of the Premier League and not entertain your home fans, I was one of the home fans that didn't appreciate that. I'm not going to appreciate playing poor football at home against the bottom half of the league. I'm just not. It's unacceptable in this day and age. And if you're going to do that to me, then I'm going to voice my opinion. I was one of those Chelsea fans that just wasn't happy with the way he played games in the league. It's just fact. I never asked for his resignation, but as a result of everything that took place over the summer, losing Roman, and then being sold to Todd Bowley, with any new ownership, they will want to do things their way. And their way was a new manager. They'd already had conversations with Graham Potter because he came in 36 hours after. So, look, Tuchel, thank you. You were a good manager. You did what you could, but in the league, you were just not good enough.
Yeah.
We were just about getting fourth. And for me, I don't ask for a lot. All I ask is play good football at home, especially against the teams that we should be beating. I can take losing, but playing well and losing. So for me personally, he didn't deserve to be sacked. But look, we're here now, and we've got a new manager who's
who's lost 1 game in 10. If that's a bad run, as everybody's trying to say, then I think you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying about Tuchel sacking. I mean, like I said, it was a shock for me when I heard it, and it felt to me that even in the transfer window, they were planning to make that move. Because I think some of the players you sign also would benefit Potter more than Tuchel's system. And I mean, I think the guy's still gonna be part of your history. He's won your Champions League, for example. So yeah, like I said, I was very shocked to see that. But you did have a point. Do you think that what happened, the whole side thing with Lukaku last season, do you think that had any bearing with the new ownership? Because obviously it ran into the summer about trying to get rid of him, and obviously the new owner just came in. Do you think that had any sort
No,
of bearing into what he was doing in the league?
no, I don't think so. Listen, look, our owner backed Tuchel. We spent 250 million on players for him, players to fit his system. We bought Aubameyang for goodness sake. I'm not happy about Aubameyang. I just don't think he's the player he used to be. We wasted a lot of money on some of these players that we got for Tuchel, and he couldn't get a
You
tune out of them.
you say that you'll score against us. You can see it happening. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't have much. I don't listen. Look, Oba's a really good player in Europe, but being a player in the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. I have no expectation of Oba. You know, if he does anything, I will stand up and say thank you. I have no expectations. He shouldn't be starting for Chelsea Football Club. He really shouldn't. It should be Broya. I want to go with youth, but listen, we back the manager, and he's going for experience this season. He's trying to find his feet, and we'll see where we finish. We'll see where we finish. We tend to November, December time is usually not a good. They're not really good months for Chelsea over the last few years. So
Arsenal even.
we tend to pick up. We tend to pick up in the new year. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. We've got some tough games. Arsenal being the toughest, and then we've got Newcastle as well. So we are. We this is the type of game we need to basically send a message to our own fan base to say that look, we can compete. I believe we've still got a very good team. It's the problem is as a collective they don't combine well. That we've not found the right combination.
Mm. Yeah. I think it like with any sort of new manager, it's going to take time to get his way of thinking in. By the way, Manny, big up. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I mean, I just got off the stream early and I thought I'd come over here and say hello. Sports Capital, Hanif, good to see you. And thanks a lot for the follow on Instagram. And happy to follow you back. And so another preview for Chelsea and Arsenal. Very eager to hear what you boys have to say. And I will say my piece a little bit later. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a cracker.
Yeah. Just quickly. Sorry, my mind doesn't work as well as it used to, so I can only focus on one thing at a time. I'm just typing this down. Yeah. Right, let me just type this in. Right, there you go. So yeah, by the way, if anyone does want to support the charity in any way, like I said, the membership's there, as well as the super chat button as well. But yeah, I feel that I feel. What do you think? What do you make of Potter, Henny? Because for me, I feel he could be a very good manager for Chelsea. Will he win trophies? Well, we don't know. He hasn't probably had a big club added to his CV yet. So, what do you make of him as a manager? Do you think he's someone that you would go for, and plus you mentioned about youth as well. Um, do you see Chelsea trying to look towards youth maybe in the future, rather than how it used to be before?
Look, I think everybody's aware of Graham Potter's management style. He's done a phenomenal job at Brighton. Those of you that watch Brighton, especially this season and last season, they played some fantastic football. They took Liverpool to the wire. I think they beat Liverpool last season at Anfield. They do exceptionally well against the top six. They're an awkward side to play against, but Potter was given time, and I think if he's given the time, I think we have got a good manager on our hands. Obviously, the he wasn't my number one pick, if I'm honest, um, because I wanted Spalletti from Napoli, but that's just me being greedy. But normally we tend to um, get managers that usually have a decent CV that have won a couple of trophies or a major trophy in another league. So look, I'm happy with the new direction. I think Todd Bowley offering Potter a long contract kind of tells me that he's going to be patient, and I'm hoping we'll follow Arsenal's suit and back our manager, um, and just take it from there. If for me, listen, look, the team is broken, it's fragmented, it's a bit all over the place, and he has to somehow, some way, get us to the end of the season and make us competitive, which will definitely test him with this team. Um, I'm not going to judge him this season. As long as he gets top seven or top six or whatever you call it for Europe, that'll do me. Because the team is broken. And then we're going to have to move a lot of players on, and then there'll be more players incoming. You know, our owner's linked with everyone. I'll give him that. Listen, look, bloody hell, the owner is, regardless of what we say about American owners, it might only be for the short term, but you know, when you're getting mentions with the names of Bellingham and so on, you just think, right, okay, at least we're trying. We might not succeed, but he seems to know what he's doing. He's going for the big players. I think we'll be a slow burner. I think we're gonna have to give Potter maybe 2 or 3 years, and then hopefully
Mm.
he can build a team that can compete with the likes of Man City and whoever else is at the top. We're gonna have to just bide our time. That's something that Chelsea fans are probably not used to, but the warnings have been there for many years now. The Champions League covered a lot of cracks. Um, so for me, listen, look, I've been a Chelsea fan since '97, so I've got a lot of patience. I knew the times before Roman
Yeah.
Abramovich, so it doesn't really surprise me. I remember when Arsenal were great, and look, I'm willing to be patient, and I'm not gonna get. Listen, obviously it's a big game, you want to win, but it's not the be all and end all because we're not even halfway through the season. I don't tend to check the league until February, at the end of February, early March, because there's no point.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. You know, Chelsea fans 2 years ago under Frank Lampard, we were on top of the league, but I said to them, wait, we can't celebrate being top of the league when the season's not over. So look,
Yeah.
we've got a long way
Exactly.
to go. I've said before, I've got a lot of respect for young coaches. I think the likes of Mikel Arteta I think he deserves so much credit with the amount of nonsense he's had to go through at that club. And it's, no disrespect to Arsenal Football Club, but you guys know that whoever your manager is, and Mikel Arteta has had his I would say has had his
Enemies.
enemies, and then also your fan base. They've got no patience, unfortunately. You just have to look at where you are, and I think we're not in a similar predicament to Arsenal, but we're not far from it neither. So I'm willing to give my manager 3 to 4 years to try and build a team, but I just think next season, if he gets the right players that fit his system and we get a structure. If we don't get a structure, then we're going to be in the
Yeah.
same boat for many years, and we're just going to be a
Um.
cup team.
Yeah. I hear your point about Arsenal, and I mean we were speaking off air about it, uh, and everyone knows my take on Arsenal. Everyone knows my take on the manager. He does well. I'm always gonna praise him, no matter what. No matter what I think of him personally, it's not a personal thing. Right? If Pep was producing similar results in his first full season, I wouldn't be happy with him. It's not a personal thing for me. I'm quite happy to go right at the end of the season after he's either won us the league or got us just so close to it and gone, okay, mate, you proved me wrong. Fucking hell. Right? I'd honestly do a whole stream apologising for getting it wrong. Right? I do. The thing I feel with Arsenal having the patience thing, I think it's because some of the fan base, especially maybe the older sort of generation as well, and not dissing that the younger generation don't have their patience either. I try and be patient as long as I can, but I feel that some of it is because that when you see Chelsea get Lampard out, bring Tuchel in, and they win the Champions League in the same season, and you see that from other teams as well, how quickly it is to invest. But it's for me, it's not just an Arteta thing. This is also a board and ownership thing. He doesn't get the ambition from the owner. It doesn't go to the board. If the board doesn't have any ambition to win the league, it goes through to the managers, because they tell the manager, all we need you to do is get top four, right? So, and that's what used to happen under Wenger. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans are just now, they either were growing up in a time where we were really dominant, or are just fed up of seeing the same thing every season. We do well to a point and then we fall off, and I feel that the reason that they are maybe less patient is because they've had to wait so long to see any form of challenging. And so while they watch Chelsea yourselves, while we've had to watch you go win Champions Leagues and everything else included in the game. So yeah, that's the only way I can explain it. And I've made my status very clear on the manager. I'm always,
I think you're very harsh. I think you're very harsh.
Look, I may be, but if he proves me wrong, or he proves any Arsenal fan that has doubts over him wrong, trust me, I'll be the first one out of all of them to do a stream and say I'm sorry. Right? And I will apologise, and I will say it on camera. And because as much as what I'm seeing this season, and you see me a lot this season, is in my match reactions, I'm saying, you can't tell me another manager at the moment could go to Arsenal and do what he's done this season. Right? And I've had Arsenal fans try and argue it, and I've said, name me a manager that could come to Arsenal with that squad and win and lose only one game and be 2 points clear of Man City, and win every single one and lose one, draw one, win every other single game and be 2 points clear of Man City. And none of them can answer me a manager that can do it, because all the other managers in all the other leagues, right, have not been able to do that record. And that's me sticking up for him. So I'm always willing to give criticism when he does poorly, but I'm willing to defend him and praise him when things are going right. And I think, like I said, this is not just an Arteta thing. I think it's also a trusting in the board and the owner as well. Arsenal have been declining for a while, and with this new regime, I feel that they do have the best interests at heart, and they are trying to learn from mistakes they've made and actually improve us, and they have done. You can't deny it. Um, and and what you see through what the board has done, you see it that it works well on the pitch because we get the players we need to fill the gaps that we need. And there's still
So
a
you,
long way to go.
so you did. So yeah, I know there's a long way to go, but if, for example, just say if Arteta doesn't finish top four, do you think he deserves to be replaced?
If he doesn't get top four,
Yeah,
for me, if he doesn't get top four from this start of the season, no, he shouldn't be here. And then you'll find a lot of Arsenal fans that will say that.
I think that's harsh.
Even the most defensive of Arsenal managers, because he was nailed on to get it last season. Everyone pretty much was guaranteeing it that Arsenal were so consistent that, and I think doing it twice and then seeing your arch rivals in the top four place and we're not is, and do you know what, actually, this is another thing I'll praise Arteta for. Oh, sorry, Manny, I will come to in a sec. The one thing I will praise Arteta for, when we finished behind Tottenham last season, we finished fourth. We bottled it. Whether the manager bottled it, whether the players bottled it, the club bottled it. We bottled it. Right? We gave it to them on the plate. So, and that you can look at any aspect of it. In the end, that's what happened. Right? But what I've noticed is we could play our weak side against you in the Europa League in the group stages, which has been a blessing in disguise, and he's managing to do that. And B, right, it looks like he's told that team that is not acceptable. We are not doing that again. Look how much the fans are hurt, right? You bottle it to your rivals, and I think it's given Arteta and his team a mentality that hasn't been there before. It hasn't been there before, right? And hence why when we went 1-0 down against Fulham, we would either lose that 2-0, 1-0, or draw 1-0. We won't win it, but we immediately turned it round. Immediately. And so, yeah, I feel partly what happened last season has probably helped us in terms of mentality wise. Manny, right?
Yeah.
I'll let you answer this question actually. Question to the panel: is the midfield key to both teams to where the game could be won or lost?
Short answer is yes, and especially
just try and lower the. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll get you on this camera here because it's struggling a bit. There you go.
Yeah. So, short answer is yes, and obviously, I don't think the midfield for Chelsea would necessarily be a problem as such because their midfield has been performing well and looking good. It's their defence that really needs patching up, and I think we should be able to, more than hold our own in the midfield. In fact, given the form of Xhaka and Partey, if Arteta does up for the 4-2-3-1 again, those two are going to be key. They're the ones who will pretty much be dominating everything from the back. So I'm pretty confident that we should win that battle. But I'm also going to say this to give you my thoughts, and I will be brief. I can accept everything that a lot of things that you said, especially the bit about how, Arteta must have told his team to remember that hurt and never feel that way ever again, and it seems to be reflected so far. And I also take Annie's point that he really admires Arteta for for what he's had to deal with. But here's the thing: when Unai Emery came to our club, he was having to deal with a great deal of that, and probably a little bit more, I would say. But let's not talk about that now. For
Yeah.
me, in a nutshell, my remit is simple. It's Champions League or bust. That means he either gets the top four, he either gets Arsenal into the top four or wins the Europa League. If he can do both, hallelujah. Fails to do one of them, and he's got to go. Simple as that. And the reason why I'm not willing to gas him up is because there are still some things about his tactical style and his, the way he conducts himself that I'm not really liking. But look, instead of necessarily being Arteta out rapidly, for me, the jury's out. I'm enjoying the process, but we still have to have a lot of tests that we have to pass, and this is going to be one more test. So all I'm saying is, it's great. The results have been good so far. I'm enjoying everything, but let's also not forget that with City having won today, they are a point ahead of us, and if we draw, we will end up being second because of our goal difference. Not that that should really harm us or be anything to make us feel angry per se, but again, it's another reminder: fortunes can change because it's a long league. Circumstances can influence everything going on. We have the World Cup coming up in the best part of maybe 2 weeks, and what happens after that will be a huge glut of games. How we cope with that and how we prepare for that will be key. So I'm not prepared to, wax lyrical about the team just yet because we've seen it. We've seen it all before. But at least you won't see me completely going ballistic whenever we lose. If I'm not going to gas up the team when we win, I'm not going to turn to, really. I'm not going to criticize the team that much when we lose because we still have many games to play. At the end of the season, if we don't achieve our aims, though, I want he has to leave, and we will find a better manager. And coming back to your question, Stephen, if there's any other manager who could achieve the kind of results that Arteta's achieved so far, he's working with Real Madrid, and he was the manager I wanted to sign for us. Instead, he ended up going to Everton.
Ancelotti.
Don Carlo.
No. Doing it in La Liga and doing it here is two different things. No way.
He was a Premiership winner with Chelsea, and he would have come into the
Look at the
team.
talent he's got in that side. Like, I'm sorry. Like, even I have to defend Arteta in this one. You can't find it. You can't. I'm sorry. Like, and here, look, I'm standing up for Arteta on this one. No way. Like, what he's done this season is quite incredible. Right, with the side that he's got. And the fact that Chelsea, the fact that Man City, for example, their game today, they looked rattled. Right, they looked so rattled, it's unreal. Look at the media, how they're treating Arsenal at the minute. They are rattled. Right, they want to see Arsenal, this shit, boring club that's going nowhere, and it hasn't been. Have you? Okay, I'll send you the link, bro. No worries. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get someone else to come on to give his opinion. But yeah, like we've had to. Yeah, I'm sorry. The media have also made it like fucking witch hunt against the Arsenal as well. But in the end, he's done. And in what you can't have. I'm not saying that, Craig. Craig. I'm saying for that record, he's not done better. No. Like, with that squad, you can't tell me Ancelotti with that squad could do what he's doing, what Arteta's doing right now. You can't. No way. I mean, he went to Everton. Look how that ended up. So there you go. So, but like, there you go. I mean, Hanif, you know, Ancelotti obviously being a Chelsea fan, could he possibly match what Arteta's done with Arsenal so far this season?
No, because the thing that Mikel Arteta has over any other manager is he's got longevity. This is his Arsenal in his identity, and it's taken time to get here, as well as
Just, just,
Arteta's not been able
just
to
take this
purchase like
season. Say
players like
like
Jesus.
So just say like it's this season, and Ancelotti's already he's at the time that Arteta's had, and we now start this season. Do you think Ancelotti, after 15 games, would be 2 points clear of Man City? With only
Probably
losing,
not. I think it's got. I think the football would be attractive. I think there'd be goals in there, but I it's very
uh,
hard to say really, but it's doubtful.
okay. Chris, how are
Well,
you?
quickly, it's here that I'm going to disagree with
Hang
you
on.
both, and I'm going to tell you
Sorry,
why.
sorry. I'll let you. I just got to say hello to. I'll let you reply in a minute, Manny. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure.
Chris, how are you?
Yeah, what's going on, lads? How are we? What's going on?
No, I'm not doing too bad. Thanks for calling in. Welcome to SFeatleyTV. Manny, you wanted to say.
Yeah, because I'll be very brief, okay? I think there's a sort of a misconception with Ancelotti that the only time he achieves success is when he's able to work with teams with a selection of talent that the likes of Chelsea and Real Madrid and so forth have, and obviously winning titles with those teams. I mean, you can say that it was easy, but he still had to do it. But I'd take a look at the way he was able to handle the Real Madrid team, which won both the Liga and the Champions League. He is the type of person who has been able to get the veterans in the squad performing well together.
Okay.
He's also introduced youth. And if you take the case of Marco Asensio, he was willing to give the fella some confidence early on that season, but when he wasn't able to, keep performing, he dropped him. So he is also a person who doesn't prey on sentiment. And I think the reason why people are so quick to praise Arteta is because they talk about the harmony and sort of clearing out the dead wood. But it's not for nothing that Ancelotti isn't called the Galactico Whisperer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he is able to get the team respecting him with his clout as a manager. He also had a more than decent playing career, and the work he did at Everton in the first half of the season. And I think James Dunlop will back me up on this if he's in the chat, is that he was also able to get that team performing well as a team. And at around Christmas time, they were
Billy.
second in the league and challenging. But and I will be brief, I promise you. It was just unfortunate, of course, that results started to fade away a little bit, but they still ended up mid-table. And mind you, when he joined Everton, they were 17th in the league, heading for relegation. The following season, after Ancelotti left for Real Madrid, Benitez came in and put that club in all sorts of trouble, and it took an almighty effort from Frank Lampard to just save them from getting relegation. So when you take a look at what's been happening at Everton since Ancelotti left, that puts what he did in perspective. So let's get rid of this idea that he can only work with the big teams. I mean, he is a top quality manager who has the skills to get players playing for him and really, harmonize the team. And it isn't just about trying to clear the dead wood and getting into conflicts with players. It's about getting the team harmonized. So I still believe that Ancelotti is a fine manager. He's gotten a little bit better. I don't think he'll stay at Real Madrid for long. He might even take up an international assignment before he retires. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, if we could have this, we had this debate a few weeks ago. Actually, I think I brought it up. But we'll have another debate over it again. Chris, I know you wanted to come on to give your thoughts. What are you thinking heading into this game?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm very, very confident in terms of the game tomorrow. I'm very, very confident in terms of the win. I mean, like I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. I absolutely hate Arsenal, and I don't expect Arsenal fans to feel the same about Chelsea. But sometimes in football, you've got to put your hands up and say, you've got to give credit where credit's due sometimes. And you've got to say, look, Arsenal, look, I said it last year that Arteta, I'll put my hands up and say this. I said at the start of the season, Arteta would be the first manager to be sacked because of the start. I thought it was going to be the similar situation where, I know you started slow last season, I believe, and I thought it was going to be kind of a carbon copy of what you'd done last season. But to be fair, as I say, he's surprised everybody. He's surprised that even Arsenal fans is surprised. If you were to say to Arsenal fans that you would be, pushing, I don't think you will win the league, but, in the position you're in now, come coming up to the World Cup, I don't believe you would have believed that. But as I say, sometimes in football you've got to put your hand up and say, he's done a good job, but let's see what happens. But I don't believe you will win the league. But in terms of the game tomorrow, I'm confident. I'm confident in terms of it's a big game. The players will be motivated, and if the players are motivated, then what's the point? And I'm looking at players like Kai Havertz. I'm looking at players like Mason Mount. I'm looking at players like Pulisic, who for us in recent weeks have been poor. Mason Mount's not had a good season. Yeah. By the way, Mason Mount's not a world class player, like Chelsea fans will tell you. He's average. Mason Mount. He's very, very average. He got Chelsea Player of the Year last year. And the numbers he got were absolutely embarrassing. And that just should, because my standards have been, from Chelsea's got standards, we need to keep, the numbers that he got were laughable, as I say. So the standards of the club have dropped in terms of praising players for doing the bare minimum. I believe that Graham Potter he needs to handle pressure. In terms of Graham Potter, look, I never wanted him in the first place. I wanted Tuchel to still be there. Obviously, he's unfortunately not. So I want to see how Potter's going to handle the pressure. I want to see how Potter's handled the big games. The only big games he's had so far is the 2 AC Milan games where we convincingly beat AC Milan back to back. So this is his first major test in terms of the form Arsenal's in terms of the first big club he's played so far as a Chelsea manager. So I want to see how he handles it. But if I see Sterling and Pulisic start as wing backs tomorrow, I'm going to kick off because they've started the last 2 games as wing backs, and it's why are you playing Sterling as a wing back? He's not a wing back. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So,
can I ask Chris a question?
Yeah, I just want to finish. I just want to touch on a little point there. In terms of tomorrow, I'm confident, and obviously a man who wants to obviously show Arsenal a lesson is going to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, Hanif, I will give you a chance on it. I just wanted to mention, I love how he's going on about making Mount really average just before he can go to a World Cup. Is this just to wind the English up just before a World Cup? I can tell.
No, I mean, no, because
the accent.
Obviously, with the accent, maybe in Scottish. Look, I'm club first over international football. I think most people are anyway.
I am.
When I'm seeing Mason Mount put in the performance he is, and I'm seeing on Twitter some Chelsea fans be blind and be like, "Oh my God, Mason Mount was great today." No, he wasn't. He wasn't great. So I'm just not. Obviously, I mean, you can look at it from that
angle.
We
have that about Odegaard at times. Odegaard at times he can be great in moments, but then he can disappear in moments.
But consistently it's not good enough. Yeah.
He disappears. It's kind of like Ozil, especially when we first signed him. He would create goals in moments, clutch moments.
Yeah.
Right, and we just didn't have enough firepower in terms of Giroud.
Yeah.
And then. The rest of the game, he'd be absolutely nowhere. And then what the fans will do is, but what about when he did this? What about when he did that? And, he's not one. And what you hear a lot of the time was, you can't expect Mesut Ozil to run. He's not that type of player. Well, don't be at the club then.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's like it's a 90-minute game. You know what I mean? And if people are going to be jumping up and down for a period of 10 minutes where the player's done something, then it's like, well, I'm sorry, he's done it. He's done it for 10 minutes, but then he's not done it for 80. The rest of the 80 minutes is poor. But I think it was Hanif had a question for us or something.
Yes, go on, Hanif. You wanted to ask a question.
Yeah. Listen, 2 questions actually. You mentioned Thomas Tuchel briefly, and you said that I think you said he should have been given the time.
Yeah.
So honestly, what did you think of the football he played? And B, Mason Mount's, you talked about numbers. Mason Mount's stats last season were pretty decent. His performances might be up there, but his stats were pretty decent. And in the Premier League, I'm not talking about any other competition. His contribution was 11 Premier League goals and 10 assists.
Yeah, but mate, I don't look at stats. That's why stats can be deceiving, because as I just said there, I mean, he could be doing that for.
Chris, do you know what I think with stats is? Stats and eye test. You've got to take both sides.
Yeah.
got to take both. I hear a load of people go, yeah, I always look on the eye test. Well, you're not then looking at the stats that prove he's
Yeah,
right.
you've got to look at both,
You've
100%.
got to
Yeah.
look at both because stats are stats that will end up giving you a title.
Yeah, it backs up an argument.
And
Like
then
as
the eye
Harry's
test,
done.
and in the eye test is also an eye is great for when you want him to buy the player,
Yeah.
and what he can do in terms of his movement off the ball and on the ball.
Yeah.
So you have to take both with a pinch,
Yeah.
of salt.
So
in a
so
sense.
just to answer the question, so in terms of Tuchel, look, didn't you know this thing about playing style and the way free flowing attacking football? For me, this is my personal opinion. This is what's good about football. People have their own interpretations of how they want football to be. But in my opinion, how I want football to be, I couldn't care less about the performances as long as you're getting. Because at the end of the day, football is about results. It's about getting the result, and ultimately results lead to trophies. That's the two main things in football for me. So, with Tuchel, the way he played, sure, it wasn't the best on the eye, but he was getting results when he first came in. I mean, he won a Champions League within 5 months, so he got the results, and that's what mattered. And then what I'm saying is, right, like we had a poor start to the season in terms of Chelsea standards, and this is why I'm annoyed with Todd Bowley, because we broke the transfer spending, the transfer market spending. We spent 287 million, right, and then we sacked Tuchel 7 days after the window shuts.
To be fair, Chris, that he shot that he did that and signed players as well right near the end, which made me think he was already preparing for Potter
to lead. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
If you get what I'm saying, it was so close. I was like, surely they must have been talking to Potter.
Yeah, but they were. That's what I was going to say, because this is what annoys me. Because Todd Bowley, we were fed rubbish.
I just didn't know why he didn't do it in the summer then. Why
that's what I'm saying, because that's why we were fed rubbish. Chelsea fans were fed rubbish by Todd Bowley, because Todd Bowley said that Tuchel wasn't in line with the vision. I'm sorry, Tuchel wanted the best for Chelsea, and Todd Bowley would have wanted the best for Chelsea. So Todd Bowley was, in my honest opinion, was talking rubbish there. In terms of Todd Bowley, the reason Tuchel got sacked was two reasons. One, in pre-season, right, he complained about where Chelsea were playing in America. Yeah, there was a big kick-off after Arsenal won that pre-season game. Yeah, so there was issues there. And Todd Bowley kept pushing Ronaldo on Tuchel, and Tuchel said no. Yeah, he kept wanting Ronaldo. He kept pushing it on Tuchel, and Tuchel said no. And Todd Bowley should be ringing up Tuchel now and thanking that, because if you actually look at Ronaldo's attitude this season and the way he's acted at Man United and the amount of money he's on a week, he saved Tuchel. He saved Bowley a lot of time. So in terms of Tuchel's playing style, end of the day, mate, he got results. And as I say, if you're going to get Potter, sack Tuchel in pre-season, get Potter in, spend 287 million on the players that Potter wants, and plan that way. So it's poor. But in terms of the other bit, what was that about Mason Mount? Yeah, mate. But I don't judge football by stats. I look at the eye and look, his numbers were.
You mentioned stats though. You mentioned that though, when you said that these players are not bringing numbers. He's by far one of our best players.
Yeah, but mate, I'm sorry.
You can't say that, man. It's 11 goals, 10 assists.
He's bang average,
he's our best player.
He's bang average. Average.
Okay.
Simple. I mean, is he world class?
Is he? None of our players are world class.
Are you a Chelsea fan?
Barring Kante.
Are you a Chelsea fan?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Sorry, I have to respectfully disagree. Reece James is world class.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Okay, sorry. I didn't. Well, apart from Reece James, I didn't think of Reece James. I was just thinking about the players that are going to probably play tomorrow.
He's bang average.
But apart from that, he might be bang average, but you know what? There's worse.
Well, there is. 100%. I agree.
It could be Alexander.
The two wrongs don't make a right, though, mate.
Listen, at the end of the day, right? When you mentioned statistics on players. When you listen back to what you said a word. You said something along the lines of top class players should have top class numbers or something along those lines.
Yeah, his numbers aren't top class, mate. His numbers are not top class.
They were better than everybody else's.
Yeah, but that shows you the state the team was in then, doesn't it? That shows you if his numbers were so good.
It does. It does, but he starts for our team though, doesn't he?
Bang average, mate.
I tell you, look. I tell you what. Which may have solved it. By the way, I put a poll up. Who's going to win the game? So please do vote. At the moment, if I'm looking at it, 50% say Arsenal, 38% say it's a draw, and 12% are going for Chelsea. And that's 8 votes so far. Please do that. Smash that like button. Smash that share button as well. Like, and hit the subscribe button. Like, do all of that jazz if you haven't done so already. Also, you can follow Manny on Insta, as well as Hanif as well. So make sure you go check that out. They'll all shout their socials at the end of the show. Don't worry. Also, any Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans that are in the chat, the link is in the chat if you do want to come on. But I'm only letting on Arsenal and Chelsea fans because obviously it is a preview. So I'm gonna do Footbin 23 because Manny loved me going absolutely haywire about FIFA's ratings on Arsenal players. Like, I think there's a stinge, it's a con, but there you go. Like, no one can sit there and tell me that Martinelli is 79. I'm sorry, whoever came up with that, and he's been that same rating. Though he's got better every season, he's stayed the same rating. Like, it's so much, it's so bullshit. It is, it's so bullshit, it's unreal. So, how do you play? We do a 4-2-3-1. Is that what you would go with?
Probably. Well, Chelsea's probably going to be lining up with a back three, probably.
So more like a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3.
Yeah.
Just stick with 4-3-3. Let's just keep it
simple.
What I do with a 4-3-3 is I usually do not one CDM. It's 2 CDMs and a CM. So it can stretch into a 4-2-3-1 because that's what we sometimes do. So in goal, Mendy, Ramsdale. Which one are we going for, guys? I got to shout out Ramsdale.
Well, yeah, Mendy's been poor this season, so.
Okay. Hanif, do you agree with Ramsdale?
Yeah, listen, look, Kepa's like coming back into he's coming back into form, but he's injured now. So unfortunately, I don't think I think barring maybe 2 players, I don't think we're gonna win many of these combined 11s
Well, we'll see how it
until
goes.
probably tomorrow.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. The right back position. Now we usually use Ben White in this instance at the moment, and not rather than any natural choice right back. We're not counting injuries, by the way. I don't want to just get involved with who's injured, who's not. So right back, who would be Chelsea's right back?
So without injuries?
No, who's available now,
we're just include just in your squad. Don't worry about injuries, just in your squad. And by the way, Anthony, by the way, I'll put the link in the chat as an Arsenal fan. If you do want to come on as an Arsenal fan, please do. So, Reece James, I would probably go Reece James over Ben White, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Reece James. What about you, men? Do you agree with that?
Are you talking to me, right?
You do. Reece James is not available, just to let you know that.
Oh,
I know, but you said no injuries, did you?
I said I'm not gonna rely on injuries and try and work out who's injured, who's not. It's a lot easier that way. Now I'm sorry. On the right, it's got to be Saliba. There's I'm not hearing it. Saliba's got to go in there. Right, they gave Saliba only 80 as a rating. That's crap. It's utter rubbish, right? The other centre back. Now, obviously, we've been playing Gabriel. I would like to use Ben White there, to be fair, because
no, Thiago Silva's in it.
It's got to be Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
Because Gabriel, and this is probably what the reason I'm tripping of the fact I've put Saliba as my captain is because he won't make the mistake that will probably lead you to concede a goal. It will be Gabriel. If you target Gabriel with Aubameyang even, he will absolutely tear him apart because Gabriel has not been amazing. He makes a mistake nearly every game.
You know what? Yeah, I know you Arsenal fans hate on him, but I actually like him. I love that he's aggressive. He might make the odd mistake now and again, but you know
To
what?
be fair,
Overall, a season, yeah. But how many mistakes did he make last season? Two,
no.
maybe one.
No, I'm saying
I think he's
no.
quality. Me, I
Can
love
I
him.
can I just
I prefer him over Saliba.
look? Can I for me I thought last season it was one of his best seasons, absolutely. But when he bought Saliba to partner him, Saliba's made him look average at best. And usually when we've conceded a goal, who's involved? It's Gabriel. So that's why I've got to mark him. That says Silva gets in. Left back, I've got Zinchenko against Chilwell.
I think Chile, mate. Chile all day.
What?
Chile all day.
Chile all day. Okay. I was gonna
Chile
go
all
for.
day.
Yeah, just remember,
you know,
too much chili can be bad for your digestive system.
I don't know where Chris went. But if he'd come back, really do appreciate it. What I might do is I'll put his Twitter feed. I'll follow him back first. But yeah, if you know anyone that wants to come on, please do so. More than welcome to. We've got 10 people watching. It's a big up. That was Chris. This is Chris, though, who's just been on as a Chelsea fan. That's his DM, so make sure his Twitter. So go and follow him on Twitter. Good, obviously got good opinions. As usual, left back. Oh mate, I've got to say Zinchenko. Zinchenko for me has been a revelation at Arsenal. But I don't know. Like, how good do you think? Like, if you had to choose between it, for me, it's between two. It's between Zinchenko, and I'm not even including Tierney in this, right? Or Ben Chilwell. Which one would you go for, Manny?
So you may choose between Zinchenko, Tierney, and Chilwell, do you?
But between which one, like out of Chilwell and Zinchenko, would you put there?
I think Chilwell, and
Chilwell.
because
Wow.
yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because as good as Zinchenko has been with regard to leading the transition into the press.
Okay.
There have been moments when he's been caught out defensively, and I want my left backs to be solid defensively.
Okay. What about you, Hanif? Are you with the same? Are you the same?
Listen, I just think Chile's a better defender, and plus he offers you goals.
Okay.
He offers goals, and that's one of his
That's why we're gonna miss him.
that's one of his advantages. To be fair, he's pivotal for us. That's why we're gonna miss him in the next few games, and England are gonna miss him
in the World Cup, mate. CDMs, right? We've got Partey and Jacko as our two DMs.
You can have them. You can have them too.
Nah, surely one player's got to get in there.
I think well, not a CDM, but I would take Cover in the CM position.
You take Cover over. We would put Odegaard there. Like,
yeah,
so,
I think Cover's a better player.
Would you agree, Manny?
Kova over Odegaard gets more involved with the game.
Okay. And if any like Arsenal fans want to come and give me smoke about Odegaard, man, then you can try, but Madison's matching the same levels. See CDM, Xhaka from so Xhaka and Partey. Xhaka's on the left side, isn't he? Xhaka's on the left side.
Yep.
Right. For me, Xhaka's been unreal, and I mean, I don't like him after what he's done in the past, but maybe it's just me not letting go about how you treat your fans and that. But he's been an absolute baller, and I can't fault him. Right, as much. I'm here, lads. I can't see you in the background, mate. I can't see you in the background. Chris, I can't see you in the background, so try refreshing the StreamYard link and try again, because for some reason it's not showing you up in the backstage. But yeah, don't know why it's not doing that. So the front three. Who would you?
They're yours, man. They're yours. Listen, your front three are
Whoa,
unbelievable. They're all yours.
nah, you're not saying that, are you?
Listen, look.
Come on,
Honestly,
Obba's got to get in his team.
no. Listen, look. We don't have an attack. They're all tacklers. Listen,
Fuck
look, there is
me.
no front. Listen, it's all. Look. If they were injured, then maybe we could give you a front three that could not deputize, but possibly do some kind of
Okay,
a job. But
Manny.
Arsenal's front three is the best in the league. It's the best. It's the best in the
Yeah.
league. It's not because of look
I
at the
can't
goals that
lie.
they've
You
scored.
can't lie. You can't lie. It is one of the best in the league. I'd say that though, but Man City have scored more goals than us.
Yeah, but that's Man City
But
though. And
yeah, but between Arsenal and Chelsea, we've probably got the best attack. Manny, would you go along that? All three of them being Arsenal players?
I would actually, because the only bone of contention would be the centre forward, and it would be a contest between Jesus and Aubameyang. Aubameyang has certainly taken to life at Chelsea like a duck to water. He's scored in the Champions League, but the Premier League is a different beast. So, all Arsenal front three for me.
Jesus for me. I think overall, he's got potential to become better, and better than Aubameyang. But in general terms, on form, Jesus is better. On current form right now. So, yeah, on the left wing would be Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli. 84. Now that's more of a rating you should get. Jesus. On the right, it would be Saka. Bukayo Saka. And then Jesus. I actually agree with FIFA if they had made Martinelli 44 and kept Jesus and kept raised Jesus, kept Jesus and Saka the same, because at the moment I think Martinelli is just ahead in terms of quality over Saka. Then the manager, who is the better manager? This is going to cause
it's Mikel Arteta at the moment.
Oh, okay. Manny?
I guess I'll have to go with Arteta. Still top of the league, even if he hasn't faced more big tests yet.
Did you wanna say that without gritting your teeth?
No, I'm not gritting my teeth. I'm not gritting my teeth. I'm being honest and I'm being fair. And I'm perfectly
pain. Right, but there you go. There's our combined 11. I mean, unless you want to do an all-time combined 11 as well, I mean, we could do that on a different
No, no,
system.
no, no, no.
No, I think we'll
No,
save
no,
that for the
no.
Emirates clash.
Yeah, so, what do you know what? Yeah, we'll do that for the Emirates stream, which will be, if I'm not mistaken, let me go to Arsenal.com. Our game against you next would be on the 29th of April. So there
Close
we
to
are.
the end of the season. Very ominous.
But yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Actually, to be fair, we'll see how I am by that time. Let's put it that way. So yeah.
You guys, you guys need to see Giroud's goal today. Oh
Oh
my! He does not score crap goals. That guy scores bangers. Oh my
yeah,
God.
I do remember that scorpion kick he did at fast. The problem I found with Giroud, and it's one flaw I might find with Jesus here. Jesus is he's got the potential to become a great striker, right? But for me, at the minute, he's only got over 20 goals in a season, not just the league, in a season, right? Twice in his career, right, at Man City. So I've got that still a little bit, can he get over 20 goals a season so we can then challenge for the big honours, right? Because we moaned at Giroud for not scoring the goals that Ozil would lay off for him in 2016, which would have won us the title. So, and because of that, we handed him out the club. So I just feel that with Jesus, I'm wondering where it might be yeah. So there we go. Stephen Pan, great show. It's gone off with a bang. After all, it is the 5th of November. It is bonfire night as well. So bangers. And tell you what, it has gone off in the lead today in terms of bonfire night. It's gone off with some banging games. I'm gonna watch match of the day for sure. Absolute bangings of the games, right? I think. Well, hang on. Let me just look through the results. I don't usually do this during a preview, but I want to look through the results for today's fixtures. If I can bring up my. Right. So match day 15, we've got 2-2. We get rid of that screen now. So far, these are the fixtures that have gone off with a bang. 2-2, Nottingham Forest and Brentford. Apparently there's been a penalty in every single game that's been played so far. The 5 games we've been played so far has got a penalty, apparently. Wolves lose 3-2 to Brighton, right? Man City. What did you make that, Hanif? Was that a dive for you?
Sorry, what was the question, pal?
The Man City game,
Yeah,
just now, earlier today. Do you think De Bruyne dived in that last minute?
that looked very soft to me. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, look, if we're
If you're
there is
comparing
obviously a
it,
big club bias. There's a
yeah.
massive big club bias, and
If you
ultimately, look,
compare it to what we did against, you remember Southampton when Jesus was manhandled to the ground?
yes,
Right.
you should have been. He should have got a penalty for that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. So that's why I literally flipped my lid over that, because yes, the Fulham defender makes the mistake of leaving his leg out, but De Bruyne, man, have some class, but then, and I can say that because if any of my players did it, I would have a go at them as well. I would have a go at them as well. That's what I even did that when I was 10 years old, because I remember Perez dived against Portsmouth to give us the goal we needed to draw that game at Highbury, and I said he dived, he cheated. So, but that's just me. Yeah, Leeds apparently were 3-1 down against Bournemouth, and won it 4-3. Bournemouth have got this habit of going so far in front in games and then losing control of it and losing a game. They did it against Spurs last week, I believe, didn't they? Didn't they lose it against Spurs? Yeah, they did. They were 2-0 in front and lost it against Spurs. Like, 2-0 to Leicester. Sorry, James, you didn't get to enjoy your day out, bruv.
Oh, I want to ask you right now. At the beginning of the season, when Leicester were going on that horrible run, you were one of those people who were loudly calling for Brendan Rodgers to be sacked. Now
Yeah.
they've gone on a run of some decent performances, and they're out of the relegation zone. They seem to be going up. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but the team looks to be gelling well and playing well. Are you still Rodgers out?
For me, for where that team is at the minute, he's got a lot to prove to get that team back up there. Because at the minute, I just still feel like Leicester could go further than with a new concept. At the moment, Leicester is still too unpredictable. Like, there's still, like, if I'm looking at the table, let me have a look at their run. Their run, yes, they've had 3 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw in their last 5 games. Like, but they're not out of the woods yet. And to be fair, with Leicester, who were challenging, who won the FA Cup the season before, right, and having no European football as well, don't forget, they didn't even qualify for Europe, right, they should be doing a lot better, right, a lot better. That's my honest opinion. Especially
You
when
could
you've
say
got
that.
once a week. They've got
Yeah,
the players, they should be, those players should not be in that position. Right, that squad should not be finding itself 13th in the table, I believe it is. Yeah, 13th in the table with only 14 points
Yeah.
on the board.
Well, I'm going to have the last word on this, and I'll have to split. But when you take a look at a lot of the situation that Leicester were in, where they weren't even able to buy players and had to sell more players before they could buy, there was always going to be some issues pertaining to that. But
Well,
now, I think what we're starting to see is that the players do seem to be willing to back their manager, and the board have also made it clear that they don't want to sack him immediately. Something seems to have happened. I don't know what it is. But when you have a situation where the likes of Tielemans,
they
Maddison, and
listen?
Barnes are, let me just finish, please, and you can ask your question.
Go on, boys.
When you have a situation where now it seems that Tielemans and Barnes and Maddison have somehow rediscovered their collective mojo and are happy playing with one another, and even Vardy knows his role, and the defense seems to be a lot more solid ever since Wout Faes came into the team. I think that they should be able to continue their rise, and they will stay in the Premiership. Now, whether Rodgers will be there next season, I don't know. Maybe he'll decide that he might need a challenge elsewhere. But I think he now deserves to have the benefit of doubt, being able to stay for the whole course of the
Look,
season, and I do believe they will stay up.
look, I think for me, the way they are at the minute and the way they've been, is a sign that they need freshening up. They need it. It's like, remember what Bournemouth were like under Eddie Howe when they first got promoted? Right?
Yep.
And I'm not saying Leicester on that level, by the way. They were brilliant though. Right? They were getting top half of the table, Bournemouth. Eventually, why did they get relegated? Because it just went stale. Right? The players were not buying into what Eddie Howe was doing anymore. Right? And they needed, and by the time they got a manager in, the results started picking up, but it was far too late, way too late, for them to do anything. So they need to be careful, like when still trusting in Rodgers, because yes, he's won them an FA Cup, and that's why I was like the season before, keep him, keep him, but I can get why Leicester fans want him gone, because it's not good enough. Simple.
But there have been some Leicester fans who have made it very clear that they remember the situation and they think he should stay. And I think, given everything that's happened since then, he deserves at least to have the dignity of being allowed to stay till the end of the season, and then you can move the team on. Because yes, I
Well,
agree
fine.
that it
I'm
needs to.
fine.
There needs to be change, and obviously it does look a little bit stale. But again, to just sack him where I mean, he's a decent person. He doesn't deserve that ignominy, and I think given the circumstances, sacking him would have been a bit of a big risk. So he deserves his shot. And listen, I'm going to have to leave now, but
Well, I'm
once again,
gonna,
Stephen,
mate. I'm gonna wrap it up anyway, mate. So
okay.
soon. So yeah, because it's been over an hour. So what I will do is I'll get first of all I'll get everyone's if you haven't answered the poll, then what you doing? I'm about to close it now anyway, which is Arsenal will win 46%, draw with 38%, and 15% for Chelsea. Yeah. Obviously,
Yeah, just clicking that video right now. I'm going to vote on the poll. Just give me give me.
yeah. While you do that, score prediction, Hanif. What's your score prediction gonna be?
3-2 Chelsea.
3-2 Chelsea. Wow. Is it a Aubameyang winner?
No, no, all our defenders will score. We've got no hope for the attackers.
Oh, well,
All set
okay.
pieces as well.
Ah, okay.
Set piece
Okay.
masterclass tomorrow.
Set piece masterclass. We'll see. We'll see.
That should be fun.
Can you just do us a favour? Can you just perform like you did against Brighton, please? Why? Because I know what happens. Like, they get thumped by Brighton and they come back and they beat the shit out of us. You know what I mean? But, yeah. So your poll... Did you just go for a draw?
Yes, I did. I just voted, and my
Oh,
prediction
mate,
is
come
2-2.
on.
No, it's good because every time
You
I
can
predict
use
a
the
draw,
bias stat. You
come
can use
on.
the bias
Every
stat.
time I predict a draw, Arsenal go on to win.
Well, I might as well just stop asking. Because that's all you're going to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, it's been over an hour. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in and
Thanks, mate.
watched it. If you haven't watched the whole video, please do watch it back. And yeah, Hassan, thanks for coming on. Hassan, what was it? Hanif, sorry, thanks for coming on. He had to go, obviously. But make sure you follow Hanif on Insta. Make sure you, yeah, Manny, where can I find you?
Yep, as usual, you can find me cheering the fat with you, Mr. Featley. Always a pleasure. And you can find me on other channels on YouTube like Del Boy Gunner TV, Oris Talks Football, Coach's Corner, Tony Claw Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, also on the Bournemouth fan channel UTCIAD. Shout out to them, terrific guys, terrific content. They put a lot of work into their channel, and I will be doing a lot more work with them in the coming weeks. Sorry about the result. Always a soft spot for the cherries now, and yeah, just enjoy coming on these streams, talking football with like-minded fans of all ages. It's not about mindless banter. It's about putting your points forth respectfully and articulately and coming to a conclusion because we all love our club, but more importantly, we all love the game. And it's about doing what makes us feel happy. It's about doing what we are passionate about, like my friend Stephen with his channel, and obviously it's for a great cause. Do please like and subscribe and click the bell button for notifications. And if you can make any donations to the foundation, the Children's Liver Disease Foundation, please do so. Every penny goes to this cause. You will not regret it. And of course, enjoy the rest of your weekend. All of you be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And for now, I am out.
Right, make sure you hit the like and you hit the subscribe and the share button. Guys, I really do appreciate you all tuning in as usual. Yeah, please join the membership. I know money's tight right now, but $1.99 it's not even the price of McDonald's every month, right? Even the $4.99 a month, it's not the price of a family meal at McDonald's. Like, come on, like it's not even worth the price of fish and chips. Like, so if you could please donate via the membership, via a super chat, or via the thanks button after the stream. or just simply just being a member. Even if you're even not a member, just subscribing really would be appreciated. So, but yeah, make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for the Arsenal Chelsea watch along. But until then, stay safe, everyone. Stay well. See you later.